Hey everyone, welcome to Gadget Talk. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this from when I did the video of kind of demoing the ammo can, Simon can, but now we are ready to get it into the store and we're actually going to do a new demo. Chad's going to be building it and we got the instructions and everything that's going to go with it. I know I'm excited to get this in the shop. What about you, Chad?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This has been something that has been kind of in the process for a long time. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited to build it tonight.
Yeah, and of course, we couldn't even put this in the shop if it wasn't for Dave Wagner, DJW House, and he's set in the wings in the back in the green room. In case there's any questions that we can't answer, he'll help us and feed us some. He's back there going to feed us some lines if we need it, if we get stumbled up or anything like that. So
all of our technical support.
Yep, he's our tech support, and so. But we are excited to do this. But before we get to the build tonight, we need to go ahead and take care of our sponsors. As soon as I find the button, there it is, the mouse. If you'd like to become a patron, click on the Become a Patron link on the front page of the Geocache Talk website or head over to patreon.com/Geocache Talk for more details. Patrons get the now famous blackout coins and other geocaching items during the year. Support levels start as low as the Bison Tube level, which is only $3 a month.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook made with genuine Write in the Rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
Oh, wow. And I'm just looking over here at the chat room. I mean, we got people coming in from, we got Joyful Nomad, Ken and Trudy from the left.
Oh,
wow. We got, let's see here, of course, Dave from the mid coast. We got Tom from Texas, Abe from Middle Canada, Arizona, and let's see here where else we got. We got Hughes, another checking in from Canada, Savannah, Georgia. GT Buzz, gotten some really great Ranger Doc caches out there. Those are some of my favorite. Ranger Doc's going to be at Mingo. I don't know if you ever met Doc Chad, but he's going to be at Mingo. Let's see here. We got Robert from the East Coast. Let's see here. Pizza Ninja from New York. I mean, we're from all over the place. Of course, we got Tricaches here from Gilby. We've seen a lot from Gilby with Josh, and it's just really cool. Got South Dakota. I mean, this is really great. And another Texas, Abilene, Texas, right here with Teresa. So just welcome everybody.
Yes.
Clan from Kentucky, Louisiana, Alabama, Pennsylvania. Oh, here we go.
Nice.
Australia.
Like it.
So yeah, we're just got people from all over the world. This is just awesome. Everybody's looking forward to doing this build. And I know I am. And this is kind of a kickoff for this to be in the new store. So these will be available. How soon are these going to be available, Chad?
Within the next 2 days.
Okay.
Or so. I got to get them photos to put them up.
Okay. So we're just going to get the photos to put them up in the store here pretty soon. But these will be available, and we'll let you know at the end of the price and how you can get your hands on these in the next few days. So, but with that said, Chad, are we ready?
Yes. Let's go ahead and do this.
All right. So I'm going to add the build cam. And the build camp. And also, as we're going through this, sorry, Chad, as we're going through this, we'll be scrolling through the instructions as well. So you will be able to see the pictures. And Dave did such a wonderful job of putting these together. So this will help all of us as we're going through it. So when you get your kit, it will actually have these instructions in there as well. And there's some really great tips and stuff like that. And this is the PDF. So this will be really great for any of those that are looking to be doing these caches.
I think what we'll end up doing is having a link to the PDF. For that, it just depends. If you look at this, it's a thick book of how to build it and everything about it. So we haven't decided if we want to print a bunch up or just send a link to the PDF in there. So, and then if anything updates, we could always update the PDF so that people look up as well. So it might be easier that way.
Right. But and this design is a little bit different than what I used. And there's some really great little parts that we've added into it that Dave's done a really great job 3D printing to help with some templates in there as well. So you'll see those as we go through tonight.
And he's taken a few other steps away too. So it's actually, there's not so many steps and so many components.
Right. And it's really great.
Okay. So first of all, we'll start off. So when you get your kit, so you'll be able to get it 2 different ways. We're going to offer it at first with an ammo can and without. You'll get these parts, and so these are the parts here that you'll end up getting, the 3 different bags. So and then you'll have the instructions in the PDF form as well. If you do order it without an ammo can, Dave did a great job at making these 3D print parts as well that is made just for this type of ammo can. So you need to buy that brand and that style of ammo can. One other thing you'll get also when you do get your kit, it will come with these 3D printed parts as well. So can't forget that.
Right, and those parts are really great.
Yeah, he did a great job. So we will start this. So I built one of these the other day. But I'm going to go through the instructions because as a builder, I thought, it's pretty simple. I'm going to start soldering stuff together. And I went out of order and ended up messing up my LEDs. So I have to make sure. Who needs instructions, right?
Well, evidently we do.
So, yeah. So we are going to start with the instructions here, and I'm going to follow them. Fairly simple build on this. Any questions, make sure you ask in the chat. We have Derek and Dave that can answer anything as well. But we'll just get started with this. So you're going to need a soldering iron when you build this kit. We haven't decided we're going to offer them completely soldered and ready to go yet or not. It just depends on how much time I have to try and put kits together. So I think kind of part of being a gadget or a build is you build it yourself type of thing. I like that idea. And it'll teach you how to build. Dave actually has in here, I don't know if you have this on the side, actually, really good instructions on the soldering.
Yes. Okay. Yep. I got it right here. I'm pulling
it up. Do you have
a
picture of that? There you go. That's really cool. I've never seen that diagram before, but that's a really cool way, and it kind of explains and looks like it has a link to soldering. So make sure you take a look at that as well on there, and I will try my best to follow that.
You got the good tip on your soldering iron tonight, right?
Yeah, I have my, you know, it's funny. I have my old soldering iron that works better than the expensive one.
That's good.
So I haven't checked the tip. I'm sure my son's been using it. He loves to work in my workshop.
Yeah, mine does too, and he's going to try and do probably more of that now that he turned 13 today. So.
Oh wow! Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to use a PCB holder here to solder up mine, just because it makes it easier. It'll be, I think, easier to show as well. So when we open up our kit, we're going to open up this bag, and I might end up labeling 1, 2, and 3. We'll see. I think there's not that many parts. You'll be able to see what you need. And if you take a look here, this is the PCB here that we actually show on the diagram as well. So exactly the same thing. There you go. Thank you. And the first thing we're going to start is we are going to start by soldering in our resistors. Now, resistors are not directional, so they can go in either direction.
Right.
When you install these. So I'm going to open up this board. And so this package has the resistors and all electronic components are inside here. So I'll go in there. The LEDs, everything like that is inside here. And all the resistors are the same. You have 5 resistors. They're all 100 ohm.
Okay.
What I'm going to start by doing is just by bending them into a U. Let me make sure I'm going from the right side. Yep. So the nice thing about it is it shows you a front and back on the diagram. And he did a very good job at making sure these are the LEDs and the colors. Even shows you the negative side of the LED and then this side here is where the resistors are. So if you don't see resistors, you're on the wrong side to solder them on. So I'm going to drop in.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there going through the chat. Pizza Ninja is having some flashbacks of doing some model car kits as a kid. Let's see here. Cash Line says, my soldering iron is old. I barely got it working enough to fix his MAV. Oh, yeah, I remember when you crashed that, or it fell out of the sky. I need a new good one. Well, we do have some links on some of the other pages, so some really good soldering irons. I know I really like mine. Mine heats up within like 15 seconds to melting temp, so I really like mine. So, but Chad's got a really good one, but sometimes the old ones are sometimes the better ones too. You just gotta wait for those to warm up.
Yep. So I have all the resistors in now, all 5 of them in spot, and so we just have to solder them. Now, if I flip this over to solder, they're going to fall out. So some people will bend them outwards so they don't fall out. Everybody does their own thing. What I like to do is just take a piece of tape and put it over the top. And now we're good to go.
Right.
Figure out where I put my solder.
So Thomas said missed part of this, buying a May the 4th Gadget Talk t-shirt and a Puzzle Talk t-shirt to support the shows. So yeah, you can definitely go buy those because next week is May the 4th and we have special shirts for Gadget Talk next week. And I'm trying to see if we have it in here. Yes, we do. So next week, if you want a May the 4th, while Chad's getting ready to solder here, if you want one of these shirts, you need to go to geocachetalk.com and go click on the store and you look for the Gadget Talk, and that takes you right to Chromia Print. And you can find the Gadget Talk podcast, May the 4th be with you shirt, and a whole bunch of other stuff on there as well. And that's going to be the same place that you're going to go to be able to find these kits as well.
I tell you what, I'm used to using my magnifying glass with my light. I'm getting old, you can tell, because I can't see half of this stuff.
Yeah, that soldering iron seems to be working a lot better, Chad.
Oh, yeah. Huge difference. We don't talk about that. No.
Well, that was back in 2020, so we don't talk about 2020. So
that's right. Was that back then? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay, so now I have them all. I didn't go over how to solder them. Dave has a great link in there.
Yep, go check
that out on your own. We want to try and fit all this into an hour, so that's where we are at. And then we're going to go ahead and cut off.
Tom, no, that would be causing you to have no fingers and burning yourself if you're holding it closer to the tip. Not like that picture that we see of that model.
A lot of people, everybody will do it their own way, however they want.
So by trimming this up, it just makes it look so much nicer, and it looks really great.
Yeah, and then they won't cross over and hit another component.
Right, hitting the other terminal.
So, part of me wants to look at that through magnifying glass to make sure they all look good, but I'm going to trust my soldering skills.
Trust the force.
Okay, so I take that tape off. Okay, so we got all our resistors in here. Fairly simple. You saw how quick that was.
Yeah, it was really good. So now we're on to the next page.
Okay, on to the next page. So Dave here talks about cutting off the resistors. So let's go on. He does such a good job in reading this. I had my wife go through this that does not know anything about electronics or soldering, putting anything together, and she actually had a really easy time putting everything together. So it all made sense. Right. So I think we're good for anybody to take care of this or build this. And if you have any questions, you can always email us at the gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com as well.
That's right. And these instructions, as we saw earlier, they are in color, not like IKEA, which means internationally known as assembly required.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to get into the next part here. So we're going to insert the 28-pin socket on this. So this is going to come on a little piece of foam as a static electricity resistant type foam. It's always good to ground yourself before you touch your circuit board or anything like that, right?
Right.
I know I am grounded. I don't have any issues, but touch a piece of metal, whatever you want. You can get a band around your arm that is a static band if you want to. Anyways, I'm grounded. So when you're looking at this, the dip socket here, on the side of it, you can kind of see a little round area on it. And if you look at the board, it has the same thing. He made it so it's really easy to figure out which direction this goes. So we're going to line this up here, make these two match here, and we're going to put it in now. Sometimes lining all these pins up takes a minute, but not too bad. There we go. That actually went in fairly easy. Now, something that you can do is, and this is something that was considered is not having the socket and just soldering in this here. So,
right.
But if you have any problems in the future, any issues, you can't take it out unless you try and unsolder it, which would be a mess. So we're going to include these on the first ones until we know we don't need them.
And then you'll just tape that again.
Yep.
We'll just tape that, and then we'll solder the other side.
Yes.
But you don't just go straight down the line either.
Yeah, typically, yes. You depending on what you want to do. If you do the two ends on each side, then it holds it, and you don't need the tape anymore.
Right.
And I think Dave actually mentions that in here. Again, I'm not reading every piece of the instructions. If you want to read it as we go, you can. But
right, there's a. I'll pulling up the image right here. So here Dave says kind of do the different ends across angle, and then you can then make sure that it's in there really nice and set and flush, and then you can go back through, and if it is, go ahead and solder the rest of them, and then if it's not, you can kind of heat up one of the solder and push it back into place carefully and just go back and redo it until it's flush.
Mm-hmm. I just can't see.
So, Eric, I'm glad you switched over to the smart TV instead of the phone. Much better, bigger picture and better quality. Yeah, because this is kind of a really detailed build tonight, and it's kind of hard to see it on your little pocket phone. So, even though some of those phones are getting a lot bigger now, like, I mean, I think I have the 10 Max, and it's still trying to see something like this. It would be difficult. So I'm glad you went up and moved up to the TV to see this.
Yeah, I could use a bigger screen right now.
Yeah, see when I'm doing soldering like this, I have magnifying glasses on that I wear doing this.
That's a good idea.
It has a little light on it. Some of those. I'll send you a link. So, and it has different powers. It has different magnifyings on it. So, but I don't usually end up just using one of them. But it also has a little light on there as well, so it helps a lot. And when you have a good soldering iron, you can tell it really doesn't take much to do this really quickly. And all Chad's doing is just kind of tapping the wire or the end, and then it has the solder right next to it, and it's just going right into the hole. Tom says he buys cheaters a handful at a time at the dollar store, his glasses. Yeah, my mom does the same thing. So, and one thing about the magnifying glasses that I have that I wear, I can wear them with glasses or I can wear them with my contacts.
Okay, that should be it. Let me check something here.
Yeah, so this is actually a lot of fun build, and as GCD SK11 is saying, he cannot wait to build one of these. So yeah, these are a lot of fun. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, as you're back there. This is a Simon, but it can also have some other capabilities too.
I had to go to my magnifying glass.
So, and then earlier we were talking about grounding. For the socket itself, there's no need to ground yourself for the socket, but when you're actually controlling the board, there is. And in the future, there may be, I just got a message back from Dave, in the future, there may be some other versions of this. But this one is only the Simon game. So, but it may be something different that we may be able to offer later. And it's just basically a chip difference, or there may be a few little things as well. So that might be another kit in the future.
We've had some conversations on that as well. The other one. So possibly depends on how much work Dave wants to go through. And remember, these are completely Dave Wagner's. These are his design, everything, right? We're lucky enough we had the opportunity to actually put them on our website.
Yes.
So these are completely his design.
Right. And yes, they are kind of like the mag glasses that Dennis used, that I use. In fact, here in a little bit, I will try to remember to show you mine. I have them over here in the drawer next to me. So I will try and show you mine here shortly.
Okay, so next we're going to go to the capacitor on here. So we're going to put the capacitor, and you can see the spot here for it, C1. And this is directional. You can actually see the plus on the board itself. I don't know if you can kind of see it right there. And so this is, you have to make sure that you have this in the correct direction on these. So the positive lead on these, just like an LED, is the longer one. So we're going to make sure we put that in the correct way. And then my friend, the tape. Just bend that one a little bit.
And to answer, Teresa and everybody that's looking for the kit right now, no, the kit's not on there yet. We got to finish getting some of the pictures of the build, but it will be up there in the next day or so. So by the end of the week, it will be up on the website. So this is kind of the pre-limb build for it this week. So no, you have not missed anything on the website yet.
Yeah, we're going to trim the leads for the capacitor once we have it soldered in, and that one's all good to go on there. So you have the resistors in, the capacitor, and the 28-pin switch, or the socket. So next we're going to go ahead and put in or terminal connectors.
Terminal connectors, which are these green ones here on the left, and then also the power one on the right, correct? Are you doing the white one yet?
Not yet. That is coming up.
Okay, so these are the terminal connectors. So
yes. Or did I skip ahead?
No, you didn't. No, I just saw. I was just looking at the picture.
Yeah. Okay. Try not to. That's too easy for me to do. Yeah. Who needs instructions? So as you can see, so what these are actually going to connect your buttons, your red, green, blue, yellow button to the board itself. And so you can kind of actually see here, it has the colors, the reds, the yellows, the greens, and the blues. So we're just going to stick these in here, and the direction that they need to be is facing this way, right? So when you look at it, you need to make sure you're matching the direction of this, because we need to make sure the wires from the buttons are heading this way, because that's a critical path for when you put in the ammo can.
Right. And Hugh, I just put a link in the chat, and that's the link to those mag glasses that I have. So those, it's a headband magnifier LED illuminated head magnifying glasses, and it comes with a 1x, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3.5 magnifier on them. So those are that's the link right there in the chat for that. Wow, Chad, you're making this look so easy doing that soldering tonight.
That's the way it usually goes.
Yep.
Now that I said that, something's going to happen.
No, I probably jinxed it. I'm knocking on wood somewhere here. There,
okay.
I'm knocking on some wood.
So we have our terminal connectors on. And now we have our wire, our connector here for our battery itself, our battery system itself. So, and in fact, I was just putting these kits together, and I am looking that I don't think I put it in this kit.
So there's how the batteries are, and then we're going to be using 2 AA batteries for this. And
yes.
So of course, red is positive, black is negative on this. So we got to remember that pre-wired LEDs are backwards, and we haven't figured that out yet, but it's backwards. And except if you're using a white
what brand you get. The ones we recommended, yes.
Yeah.
But I've ordered some recently to test them, and they're not. I don't know.
That would confuse me now after I've been using after about 120 something LEDs. So always check your LEDs.
Actually, this connector here is not for the battery. This is actually for the piezo.
Okay.
This is the speaker. We are hardwiring the battery in. So
okay, all right.
And it says on here what it is. Sorry, it doesn't focus very good. Derek's image is probably a bit better. So you want to make sure that this direction is facing this way, which it's very clear in the photo which direction to put it. And I don't know if I have an issue with this. So I'm going to turn that sideways.
And Dave designed these boards as well, these PCBs, and with all the labels and everything like that. And once again, just a phenomenal job on putting all that together. So.
Oh yeah, they've been very easy to put together.
And that's one of the things I really like. I mean, we're trying to make this so everybody can up their game in their area. And this is just another one of those ways that just really helps.
Yeah, and I think once you get into something like this and you're not too shy on soldering or working with anything like this, it will get you into doing other things as well.
Right.
So it's a good stepping point. Okay.
And what's cool about the piezo that we're putting on here, if you notice, there's no speaker on it. And that's what's kind of cool. It uses the actual ammo can as the speaker itself. The way it does the vibrations on it. It's really cool. It's just really neat.
Okay, so now that we have that one in, let's go ahead and go back here. Socket.
So now we're to the battery, correct?
Yeah. Is that page in here? Did I just step over it? I guess I did. I got excited.
Woo.
Okay.
That's some power.
So you're going to get a AA battery holder like this. And we are going to stick this in. So the way he recommends it is going from, it looks like from the top down. All right. So if you look at this, so I can use my soldering thing. There's these 2 holes here. This one and this one. Your wire is going to go down through there and then poke back up into these from the backside. And so that's going to act as a strain relief.
And there's a picture from the instructions of it, how it's coming in from the top, and then it comes back down. And then when you get it soldered, it kind of tightens up like this. And like Chad just said, it's strain relief on those.
And the wires are directional. Make sure you have red to positive and black to negative.
Yep.
And it's right on the board.
Right. We just can't write on the wires as easy. So just remember the color.
So I know this one was a little bit tougher to get soldered. I'm going to leave a little bit of a turn in it there, so I can make sure they're sticking up. And then we're going to hit that real quick.
Yeah, and everybody's just really thanking Dave. Teresa says, thank you, Dave, for doing this. This kind of electronic cache is what I stay away from making, but I'm looking forward to buying the kit and making it. So that's really cool. So Gary's just joining in. Right. Yeah, we're going to put a kit together. Gary was asking if we're going to have an Amazon list for getting the solder equipment and supplies. Yeah, we'll have a build list later this week on here as well. And we'll probably attach that as well to maybe the store itself. So there'll be links to that as well for that.
Okay, so now we are going to insert the IC into the socket. So this here is the chip that we're going to insert. Now, again, if you have any kind of static band or anything, you can do it or touch a piece of metal. One thing I noticed is if you look at the socket here, or the IC board here, the legs are kind of bent out, and so I've actually had to bend them in a little bit to make them fit into the socket. So you might need to do that a little bit.
Right.
And this is directional. If you look at that little circle there, like we were talking about earlier, I don't know, turning the wrong way. Sorry, my camera has a slight delay.
Yeah, here.
But anyways, there's a little round circle there. It matches
there.
this. Yeah, you probably have a better picture.
Yeah, there's a picture of it right there. Has a little circle in it. And then, of course, Dave also talks about having to bend those in just a little bit. But you want to be very careful putting this part in, because you don't want these to bend out, because remember, this is the brain of the cache at this point.
Now you got me nervous, Derek.
I'm sorry. Trust me, when I was putting mine in, I was nervous too, and I had to redo it a couple times. It's getting that bend in there the first time, so it slips right in there. If you haven't done a lot of these, which I haven't, it takes a little bit to get to it. So don't be too scared, but once you just be careful as you're putting it in. And there it is.
There it is. It is in. Okay, now that we have everything in here, we're going to work with the LEDs. And so the LEDs we have here are clear LEDs. And one of the reasons why Dave went with clear LEDs is because they're easier to see in daylight.
Yes.
So if it's bright outside, it's easier to see them flash. On an LED, and you might want to pull it up there, the positive part of it, or the anode, is the longer one, the positive, right? And the cathode is a negative one, which is a shorter one. There's also a flat spot on the negative side as well, which is hard to see, I think, with your bare eye. Colored ones are easier to see them. Now, if you look at the board on the back side, you can actually see.
Going to pull that up to the camera.
I don't know if you can pull up the picture of the back side.
Yeah, let me see if I have it.
But it should be one of the first ones, I think, when you show on the board. You can see, sorry, my camera is really not that great. You can see the flat spot on it that represents the flat spot, or the negative of the LED. So you know which direction it goes in.
So there's the back of the board where you see the LED.
Yes. And so what Dave talks about here is in order to figure out what the color is, because we don't have them colored in here, is to drop them in to the spots, and you'll be able to get them to light up. Whoa. Should just take everything out of the bag. You'll get them light up, then you'll find out what color they are, and then put them in their correct location.
Right. Another way, if you have a small, like, watch battery I'm trying to remember what the actual number is. You can actually put it onto the between the two terminals. It's not going to blow.
30, yeah, the 2032.
Yeah, the 2032.
So
which,
a button cell battery.
Yep.
Like this. These are only 3 volts, so you don't need a resistor on these. They're not going to blow up an LED. You put it on and it doesn't work. You flip it over, and it'll tell you what the color is. It'll show you the color. So
that one's blue.
That's an easy way to do it as well. But we didn't provide one of those in here, so I'm going to go off of the instructions here. Simple. And now testing the color, even though they're not soldered in place, they should still light up.
Right, and here's the page that Chad's looking at.
Section before doing this. We're just going to do it. No. Where is my batteries?
So if they're not colored, you just kind of, like Chad's doing right now, and you just kind of connect the 2 terminals with the batteries, and they will light up.
My batteries.
So, and while Chad's doing that, I mentioned that I was going to show my head. This is the actual magnifying glass ones that I have. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what these magnifiers that I have. So, of course, it has the LED up here at the top that lights up. And these are really great to do. And these work with glasses and contacts as well. So, and it just kind of flips up when you're not wanting to use it. So these just work really great. When I'm doing this fine soldering like what Chad's got right now, this is what I use. So. All right,
perfect.
Back to you, Chad.
So, thanks. If you look at the lights here, they're in place. You may just need to move the light a little bit to get it to light up. Or I might have to take the battery back out and put it back in. Sure, Dave. They were just lighting up.
Well, I was talking about the headlamp.
I'm gonna ask Dave if I need to take him out for a minute.
Short out cap. Short the cap out on the other side.
Oh, short the cap out. So take the batteries out and then short the cap out. I don't have a penny, but I have a washer. So on your capacitor here, you have your negative and your positive here. And so if you take a penny or a washer and you put them both together, now make sure your batteries are out. It'll short it out, which then should restart it here. Okay, so batteries are back in. Now, yeah, you see if we turn that a little bit, if we push it, it'll light up. So we know this is green.
And we meant to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's one of the steps, actually. That was red.
And they're labeled on there what color is supposed to be go where. So you'll see that on the board itself. And I'm going back to that page on the...
Yes.
So it's going to be upside down when you're looking at this, but it's so you got your red on the right, yellow, green, blue. And that's the line that it goes there.
Okay, so I'm going to short the capacitor out one more time here. I got everything in location where it needs to go. So that one's yellow, red, green, and blue. So we're good to go.
Yep. Looks good. And we're going to use the trusty old tape again, put it across those LEDs.
Yeah. And I'm sure some people would go, just bend the leads, but I'm not going to. Oh, actually, this is where I messed up last time. Ooh, I'm surprised Dave didn't jump in. Okay, I soldered these. Well, that would be incorrect not to solder these on there because these actually need to stand off of the board.
Yeah, so Dave's throwing in the chat, in our private chat. Add the 3D cover. Add the 3D cover.
Yeah,
so this is where these are coming in place.
Exactly what I did the other day. I got excited. Okay, this is easy. Okay, so you will go to our 3D cover that you'll get that's printed, and it's pretty simple. You'll have the color LED: blue, green, yellow, red on there. You also see the your standoffs here. The board has 3 or 1 and 2, total of 3. They'll match on the board here as well. So, and then of course it's going to have to go this way. Sure, that's right. Blue, green, yeah, go flip this way. So I'm at this point probably going to have to take it out of the holder here. And the nice thing about this is it's going to go on, and these LEDs actually snap into place on the 3D printed board. I wonder if I should put the standoff, if I should install, complete them first.
Yeah, screw in the PCB.
Screw the standoff first. PCB, okay. So what we're going to do, remove that. We have some 6 millimeter, or I'm sorry, 3 millimeter screws. We're going to put into the standoffs here, 3 of them.
So, Teresa, the reason why we had to short it out is because there's a timer on it. After so long, it actually turns itself off. But also, it's a temperature issue, so that just helps resets the board itself. So, yeah, so that's why we did that. And yeah, it's good to see. I mean, hey, we all make mistakes. I was doing a build today, and I was wondering if it was going to work until it actually worked. So, it's how we always are when we're doing this. It's a lot of trial and error at the same time, and we always learn from our mistakes. Then that's what's important. Yeah, and as Dave was just saying, it goes. Oops, sorry, Jeff. We all know cachers don't read. Do cache builders read? We have the instructions for you to read. It's if you don't build it to the instructions and it doesn't work, then don't blame us. But Dave was saying it goes to sleep after 20 seconds, covered in the instructions. So, so Teresa, it actually does say that in the instructions as well. All right, so Chad is putting the PCB into screwing it into the 3D printed piece for the LEDs, the aligners, and
okay, that is in, and now these are in here. Now, if you push up, I don't know if pulling would be better. Maybe push and pull. The LEDs will snap in. Now that's actually in place. It snaps into the 3D printed part here, and it shouldn't go anywhere, and they should all stay even.
Yeah, that's really nice. I wish I had that when I built my original one.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice design. I mean, designing a 3D printed PCB board, with the standoffs and something that actually can grasp or snap the LEDs in is really cool. It's a great idea. So I'm actually going to go back to my.
Yeah, I'll go back to your holder now.
If it will allow me to. Okay.
And I will put a list of the holder as well into in our links as well. So we'll have that in there.
Yeah, and if you go back to previous shows, I think all this stuff is in the links, but we'll make
sure we get it back in there. I'm pulling up my Word doc right now to make sure I'm getting everything as we're going through. And once again, Chad's just going through and just soldering those pieces in there. But yeah, this is just such a fun cache. Curtis will still grab. I have not put this out because we've been kind of tinkering with it a little bit here and there, and Curtis will still grab this cache and kind of go and play with it. Very few people, because there's different settings, and we'll get into this later. There's different settings of difficulty that you can do on this, and I haven't changed it from, I think, the difficult setting. I think it's like you have to get 8. Well, I guess it's medium setting. 8 times through to get it to give out the code.
Yeah, I think it comes with a 10, I think. Is that what the default is?
Yeah.
We'll have to see. We'll see when we get to that point.
So this one starts at 11.
11, okay. Okay, so those are all soldered in. And again, we'll just go ahead and cut those lead wires off. I guess I could short it out and make sure it works again. I guess it'd probably be a good idea. Oh. A little bit harder.
But it does have a merge. This one does. We did build in, or when I say we, I mean Dave. Dave built in mercy mode, so it will go down a bit if you keep failing. So that's I think that's really great for if it's out in the field, and that way somebody doesn't get so discouraged. And if it's by a lake, it ends up in the lake. So
okay, so those all work.
And Chad's just trimming those up.
These cutters are about done. Okay, next. Grab these set of cutters. Garbage. Okay. Read instructions. All right, now it looks like we're getting to go to the ammo can and set the template up.
All right. Another great add-on that Dave did for my build. Now, these templates for the ammo can are specifically for this ammo can. So that's something a little bit different. So when you get your kit, if you don't get it with this ammo can, these templates may or may not work. So just be aware of that.
Okay. Yes. So exactly what Derek just said. So if you want to buy your own ammo can on Amazon, you can, and then order the kit through us. It will be a little bit cheaper because it won't have the ammo can, and then also shipping will be cheaper, right?
Right.
So what I'm going to do is to work on this just to make it easier. These plastic ammo cans, the lids pop off. So I'm just going to pop this lid off. There. That'll make it easier to work on. And before I get ahead of myself, so you have two templates here, the LED template and the bottom template. So the way he's made these is these templates here go right in spot and they slide right in. If you notice, this ammo can lid has some ears on it, and the 3D printed part has the knockout for the ears in it. So it actually just slides right on. It's cool. This is rounded over, and so is the template that goes in there. So did a really good job designing it. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. I could have used these on a build I did today.
I could use these on every one of my builds. I think Dave should be designing all my builds for me. Make it easier. Okay. And then we have the template for the, this is the button template, if I'm remembering right. Yes. And then this is the LED. Oh, it says button template right there. I didn't read it.
Once again, like we were saying earlier, cachers don't read.
Yeah. And so this is your LED template here. If you notice, the template itself has a V groove here printed on it, and that's what we need to notch out of the top of the ammo can for the wires to go. And so Dave uses a knife on there to cut that out. I am going to try some snips.
That's what I used today when I cut out a little piece on an ammo can that I was working on today. And that's what I used, some snips.
Looking for my good ones. Try these old ones. Oh yeah, piece of cake. So you can see that that is now cut out.
That looks really good.
So cut that out, notch the cover supports. And now we need the 1/8 inch drill bit, which I have right here. My drill bits get mixed up. I just want to double check it.
Yeah, mine do too. I need to go through my whole shop and just reorganize everything. So,
oh, drill's over here. Now, I'd recommend putting down a piece of wood or something underneath there. So I always have scrap sitting around my shop of wood from cutting stuff out. So I'm just going to stick that on there. And then drill through each one of these holes here.
yeah,
pull that out.
So great having those templates.
Yeah, it is. And if you don't have a sharp drill bit, it may leave a little bit of plastic out here, but mine's nice and smooth. You can use a knife or something to deburr them, at least some burrs. So just in case, I have this little tool here I'll use just to run it over it. Okay. Deburred.
Yep, deburred.
Now using a 7/32 drill bit.
And all these drill bits and all that are all in the instructions itself. Yeah, and and that's one of the things about these templates. It saves the measuring, so it's going to look really great all the time when you're doing this. And what's really cool, I really like about these 3D printed things is if you can use this on other ammo cans. If you get the same type of ammo can, you'll be able to use these again if you want to do something similar to this. Adding buttons or doing different builds, you can add these to those ammo cans, and you already have the template. And you don't have to worry about measuring. It took me forever to measure an ammo can today just to get it ready for some holes.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading Dave's comments.
Oh,
I don't get to read comments too often, right? I'm
no.
Anyway, okay, 7/32 bit is on, and it looks like we are going to use 7/32 drill bit. Quarter can be used, so it looks like 7/32. If you don't have it, you can use a quarter, and then re-drill the buttonholes to enlarge them.
Right.
So, I guess I didn't need to deburr them. Did I do the wrong holes? No, buttonholes.
Did you do the wrong
ones? Oh, LED holes. Okay, LED holes. Okay. I was like, buttons are down here. Okay, so same thing. The bits are sharp, so I don't have any burring. But if you did, you could deburr it a little bit. We're good on that. And then using a 1/2 inch drill bit, you can enlarge the 4 buttonholes as well. So it looks like he used the 1/8 inch as well on these. So I guess I should have did all the holes at one time.
Right.
Easy enough. You know what? Okay. I want to make sure I'm not going to hit the handle. Okay, so we are going to enlarge these to 1/2 inch.
This is just really, really great. It looks like your build cam froze on us.
Oh, wow. No, I'm just really drooling. It's taking a while. It's hard stuff.
Yeah. It's just looked up and all of a sudden I was getting all the links for everybody as we're doing this as well.
Let me restart it. Oh, my computer is doing something weird.
Okay, so I'm just going to come over here for a second. So let me know in the chat what you guys are thinking of this. I know some of you are really looking at going, this is really great. Once again, I just want to give Dave a really huge shout out because we could not have done this without him and just giving us the opportunity to be able to do this. And once again, if you're just joining us, these kits will be available in the store later this week. We got to get some more of the pictures on all that done, and you can get the kit with the ammo can or without. But like I said before, if you get the kit without the ammo can, the 3D printed parts for the ammo can may or may not fit. So unless you get the same ammo can that we're using, but we can. So that's it. And if you don't get the ammo can, of course, you'll save a little bit maybe on some the shipping on it as well. And so, but yeah, Martin says this looks cool. Yeah. So GCDSK11 is saying DJW House, this is awesome. You're the jack of all trades. So yeah, everybody's just really getting in here and just really liking this. Any idea what the cost will be? Well, Chad, should we go ahead and tell them what the cost is going to be? All right. So with the ammo can, it is this kit with all the templates, all the wiring, the PCB, all that information, all that is and the instructions. And hey, you also get tech support from us as well. That's included in this. It's going to be $65. Is that plus shipping, correct, Chad?
Plus shipping, yeah.
Plus shipping.
With the ammo can.
With the ammo can. Without the ammo can, the price is, I'm going to let you tell, what's the price without ammo can, Chad? What did we say?
It was $52.
$52 without the ammo can, or $65 with the ammo can, and that is plus shipping. So, I mean, you may be thinking, hey, that sounds expensive, but for a good quality cache and all the work that Dave has put into this, and it helps the channel and everything else, I think that's a great price. For any of us that build gadget caches, know if you're going to build a quality cache, it's going to cost some money. I mean, even the birdhouses with the with the PVC board that I used last week, you're looking at about $20 for that board. So that's just your material, but then all the electronics and everything else that's going into this, and the programming of each of these cards, because each one of the IC cards, the brain, all are being programmed, all of us by hand. So I think it is well worth it. So $65 plus shipping will get you this kit.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to restart my computer here. Almost
no worries. There. So once again, that'll be up there later this week. So looking forward to that. And I'm also getting the other tools that you're going to need, and that's going to be on. Sorry, I was just reading. That's like $1,000 Canadian. I'm still buying one of these at least. And then he gives good price. So yeah, like I said, good quality stuff. It is great to be able to get this. And like I said, this is just one of the things we're hoping to be able to do a lot more of these and be able to maybe build on this and do a lot of different stuff. So someone says, I'll buy one and I'm gonna have somebody build it for me. Hey, whatever you need to do, that's great.
Now, I don't know if anybody knows Joyful Nomad out of California. They have some great caches as well.
Oh,
down there, some gadget caches and everything. So, yeah, if you ever have a chance and you're down there, take a look at some of their caches.
I got to get down there now. What area is that? San Diego?
I don't know. I'm not sure if they're down that far. They mentioned it earlier in the podcast when they logged in or when they signed in.
I have to go back through when we're going through everybody.
Because I mean, I just said left coast.
See, I have family that lives in Santa Clarita, so close family. My sister. So yeah, I got to get out there and see her and them, and I know Palmdale. I grew up around. I graduated high school around Lancaster, Palmdale area, so that right around Rombacant's stomping grounds. So I got to get over there because I got to get his caches too. So
we got to make a trip down there and do a video.
Oh, we do. That was so much fun. When we were at going caching. Well, that was fun too. But when we were at Texas Challenge, Davis, Woodland, and the Delta. So,
oh, come on. I need to buy a new computer, I think, for this.
Uh-oh. So we're trying to get our build cam back up on this.
It's almost there.
The little hamsters are running as fast as they can.
It's close.
So, but once again, we are coming at the instructions on this are really great. I mean, like the color. So here we are. We're drilling the parts in here, and Dave did Dave did a phenomenal job on doing the instructions on this. And like we said before, it's not IKEA. It is really with color information. This you get a PDF, and there's where he's talking here about the deburring using a blade in case you don't have one of those great tools that Chad has that he was using. And our build cam just came back up, so we're going to go back to Chad building with the build cam.
Wow. Okay, short break. Good recovery, Derek. Jumps right in there and makes it look like we planned that. Okay, so
it was in my script. It wasn't in yours.
Yeah, no, I missed that part. So we're going to enlarge the buttonholes to 1/2 inch. So I am going to go ahead and use my drill bit. I'm not going to use a 1/2 inch drill bit. I'm going to use the stepper bit here, and it has a 1/2 inch mark on it. You can't see it, and I put tape just to know where it is. But it does a good job of going through the plastic and leaving a nice clean hole.
Right, and I did the same thing with mine that I did today, drilling most with the stepper bit.
Okay, so that's the top part of our build. Back to the instructions. So we have an option to install a lock. Should we go over that too, or should we just finish up the kit?
We'll talk about that. So that is one of the pieces in there.
Here, but it's a great idea. So we'll talk about it at the end here and go over it. And the template will be included.
Yes.
For that. So, piezo buzzer. So, we have the piezo right here. And this needs to be installed. So this has the quick connects on it, or the connections for to go on the PCB. This is going to go, it looks like, so we have this in this orientation. The wire is going to go this way. It's going to mount right here.
Right. And knowing the instructions, you want to rough that up a little bit before you glue it, because that'll help it stick a little bit better.
Yes.
So Chad's going to grab a little bit of sandpaper or something to rough that up a little bit. I mean, he's got everything in that shop, as we all know. So it's just sit back in the back somewhere.
Yeah, it's just in a drawer. You would have thought I would have been prepared, right? Not taking a nap until a half hour before the show.
All right, Chad. We're going to say you're never allowed to take a nap on Tuesdays again.
Man.
At least not that late. I know you've been working like crazy. You were telling me the other day.
Yeah.
18 to, what would you say, 18 to 20 hours a day?
Well, yeah, 16 to 18 hours a day. But big project trying to get completed.
Yeah.
The way it goes sometimes. Okay, so we use some glue. So I am not a huge fan of super glue, and I don't know if I want to use it because I don't want to have to sit here and wait for it to dry, but we need to do something. What if I just tape it down if it would work?
Dave's shaking his head yes and kind of laughing at you at the same time, by the way.
Dave, you want me to glue it? That's fine. I don't mind work. I don't mind having a longer podcast. No, you know what glue I should use is the stuff I used to glue my coral to the reef. That stuff would work good.
So yeah, so you just glue that in there and it goes right in place. And it just, like I said, it's really great how the piezo works. And I'm probably saying that wrong, but it uses the vibration and it vibrates through the can lid, and it just really works really great.
Yep. Okay, you know what I'm going to do just to make sure it doesn't move is I'll put a little bit of tape on there. Dave's probably shaking his head again. Oh, no. What are you doing? Okay. So that is in.
He's saying a 10-second hold.
Now, I don't know about that glue I have. This said rapid fuse in 30 seconds, but like 30 minutes to still not dry.
Yeah, like when the first time I tried doing without using the solvent for plexi.
Oh yeah.
The acrylic, it took me forever.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, buttons. Time for buttons. Yes. So these are nice buttons because they're pre-wired.
Yeah, those are nice.
Do any soldering to these? So
they're pre-wired, and they're probably right too, because the red is positive and the black is
you're just
negative.
Completing this. It's a momentary switch, right?
Right.
So I don't know. It doesn't matter which way it goes, but yes. Yes, you're right.
Right. Now, when you put your buttons in, you got to remember where your board, how your board is too.
Yeah. Where's my little thing for that? Right here. I don't know if I need that anymore. Well, it looks like if we flip it over and follow the instructions on the same way he has it, but just to make sure, what I do with my board I was building.
I'm getting to that part of the instructions.
Way back there. So my little build table here is not very big, so I have to move stuff around. I am just going to make sure.
So going from left to right, it goes red, yellow, green, blue.
Red, yellow, green. Okay. I like to double check.
Oh, yeah. Always. Double check. Do it once, again, and recheck it, and redo it.
Yeah, and what Dave's showing is to throw some silicone in here as well. So just to make sure your buttons, these are weatherproof buttons here. These are weather resistant, good for outside. I've used them I have a cache. These are in complete weather. And it's been out for over 3 years and I've not had to replace any of them. So they work very well. But to keep the water out of inside the ammo can and potentially getting right on your circuit board on the LED side, these you put a little bit of silicone around each buttonhole before you stick it in. I'm not going to do it, but that's what is recommended by the manufacturer.
So there's where Dave's talking about putting the silicone around it.
Yes.
So, on page.
And he recommends the Loctite silicone, clear silicone. Yeah, that's a good silicone. So, whatever you have, I think is working great. So we're going to put these locks on here. So we're going to put our lock washer on first, the round washer. Then we're going to put our lock nut, or our nut on.
So Dave's asking, what kind of silicone do you have? Because he said it looks a lot easier to dispense than the Loctite.
It's nothing special. It's just a DAP Ultra Clear. So it's supposed to adhere to wet surfaces. Nothing special at all. It's a fairly cheap one. I think silicone, your Loctite one is probably a much higher end silicone, but one that I like to use a lot, that I know works extremely well, is this gutter seal here. So it's a GS 12 or 121, something like that. Anyways, it's gutter seal and seam. If you have gutters that hold water all the time and this seals it for years, this works extremely well. It's a little bit thicker than your regular silicone, but this stuff here seals for a long time. So,
and is that clear as well?
That's clear. You can get it in clear and you can get it in silver.
Okay.
So clear.
And I'll have a link for that gutter seal as well in the build page later on. All right, so Chad's just kind of getting those the lock washer and
yeah, that one at a time. I'm sure it says that in the instructions.
I'm sure it does. But we're cachers. We don't read the instructions, right?
We're builders. We just make it up as we go.
Is there any difference? I mean, that's what I do.
Instructions are more like guidelines.
I think somebody actually said that earlier too.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah. I have to go back through and look at that. Yeah, so Dave's saying probably can make the cache submersible with that gutter and seam.
Yeah. Well, it's made, gutters, aluminum gutters, they expand and contract quite a bit depending on the run, and that seals it. So works well.
Yeah, and you can get that in a 5-ounce tube. So
you can get it in a caulk gun tube, or you can get it in that there. The caulk gun, the stuff is thick, so the caulk gun tube is a really tough one to use. Sorry, here, this thread on this one here has a little bit of, when they made it, a little bit of plastic.
Oh yeah, that's always not fun. I had one of those today as well. All right, so we're we are, like, the link in the store will be up later this week. We are taking some of the pictures, and this, as well as this build, will also be linked in there for instructions as well. So if you wanted to do this as you're working through it, as well as looking at the instructions, because different people learn different ways. Some people need to see it visually. Some people can do it by reading. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this build tonight. So once again, the link for the store will be up later this week. And what you'll be able to do is just go to gadgettalk.com and you click on the store, and it'll be there in the store. And for those that missed it earlier, $65 is the price for the kit, and that's with the ammo can, and then $52 without the ammo can. And that comes with tech support from the three of us, myself, Chad, and Dave. And then also for all the hard work that Dave's put in, and it also helps out the channel as well. So once again, you'll be able to go later this week to the website at geocachetalk.com, and then you'll click on the store, and I'll take you to where you'll be able to find that. Plus, you'll be able to find shirts and coins and whole bunch of other stuff. And if you go this week, and this is the week of, so today's April 27th. So if you go this week before May 4th, you can order your Star Wars shirt for next week's build for May the 4th. And it says Gadget Podcast. May the 4th be with you. And then there's the shirt right there. Gadget Talk Podcast. May the 4th be with you. A really great shirt. Chad and I am so looking forward to wearing that. I tried it on when it first came in and was in a meeting with all of us with it on. And I can't wait to wear it. And I will be wearing it at Mingo.
Yes, I'll be taking mine to Mingo as well. I have mine on the table back here. I thought, I want to wear that tonight, but I gotta wait. So yes, those are cool shirts. And it was one of those. Well, I think we talked about it last podcast, right? It was just like, our next one's on, or we have one on the 4th. We should do something special for that.
Right. So Dave's saying drop the PCB over there in the slot for the wiring if you can. So you get the wires lined up for it.
Making things difficult. I'm sure he is correct. He designed it. Okay.
As you say, when you buy your gadget,
so they don't go through that V. I've been trying to get them through that V. That's for the piezo. Okay, now that makes sense to me.
So yeah, so Hugh's saying, and when you buy your Gadget shirt, it will fit nicely in the cache. So yeah, go. Hopefully later this week, go ahead and order your kit and order the Gadget Talk shirt, and that might save you on some shipping with it in there. We'll just stuff it in there, maybe.
Okay, so we have this in here, the PCB. LEDs are coming through, and we are. If you look at this, I was like, how do you tell which way it is? Well, it's actually in order: red, yellow, green, and blue. So this must be the red one, right? Yep. So actually pretty simple. They're not directional, so you should be able to put them in. You're just a momentary switch.
So Chad's just going to put those, feed them into the terminals, and then you just kind of screw them down on there tight. Now, sometimes this can be a little tricky. I've had an issue every once in a while with getting those wires in there right and staying, but that might have just been me or my terminal boards that I had. But sometimes it can be a little bit difficult getting them to lock in there sometimes.
Sorry, I think they're screwed shut.
Oh, yeah. So, I've got to make sure they're open so you can get those wires in there. Yeah. Sorry, I was just going back and looking at what Dave was saying. Yeah, unscrew it first.
Yeah, whatever. We can't all be professionals.
I know. That's why we got Dave. So and remember, the tech support that comes with this, if we can't answer it, we're going to be asking Dave anyways. So as he's doing that, so you'll be able to see how this goes in here into the board itself. So it's just real easy. I mean, here's red, black, red, black, red, black, red, black. But with a momentary switch, it does not matter. There is no positive or negative on those. So if you wanted to go black, red, black, red, black, red, you could, or make it even crazier. But for those that are OCD, you might want to go with one direction. So, but you need to have it in the same cabling for the same switch next to each other. So, all right. And Chad's just continuing going in, putting those in there. Now, I'll say this too. If you have an issue with the terminal board, one of the things you can do, if you wanted to, you could, this is an option. If you didn't want to use the terminal boards, you could actually solder your wires directly to the board itself as well. but the terminal boards make it a lot easier if you need to make those changes on that.
Yeah.
So
that may be a design I might have seen recently where they may do that with a strain relief hole, just like the battery.
Because sometimes
Possibly,
just trying to find the jeweler's tool sometimes to fit those, because it's really tiny, and sometimes the metal in that can kind of almost strip out sometimes. So you have to be kind of careful when you're doing that.
Sorry, that one doesn't want to feed. What am I doing wrong?
So, and then because I know I've used these terminals, and the wire that I was using was rather thin, and the terminal did not want to grab it as easy, so it kept slipping out.
That wire has a big chunk of solder on the end of it, so you don't want to fit in.
So there's a happy medium in when these are going in together.
Almost done.
Almost got this part. All right. And like I said, I know we're going long tonight with this, but this is also for when you get your kit and you need to go back and refer to how this is done, besides looking at the instructions, the wonderful instructions that Dave did. You'll get to see us, and when I say us, I mean Chad putting it together. So but that looks good, Chad.
Okay, good. So next, more silicone. So on here, Dave has you putting some silicone on each side of the LED here, and then kind of spreading it around the LED. He also put a little channel in here around each one, so the silicone will actually stick in there, which is a really good idea.
Yeah, that is really good. So
again, I'm not going to do it myself, but put some silicone around LEDs, however you want to do it. In the instructions they show you.
Right, and there's the instructions up there right now. And then you just kind of put it in place.
Then I'd imagine that's what's holding it to the top of the ammo can as well. Because once that silicone dries, it's not going to, should not go anywhere.
Right. So you may want to just kind of tape it tonight if you not want to use the silicone.
That's my thought.
So just kind of speed us up on time there. That's the way we get it on there. And that's just really a great way to doing that. And like I said, when you in the instructions itself, it shows you putting it in there with the silicone, and that just kind of holds that really nicely in there. And the silicone was really great about the silicone versus other materials that you use to glue. Temperature wise, the silicone's going to hold a lot better because it's going to expand and contract at the same time with weather as well. So it's going to keep that bond a lot better.
Yes. Sorry, I might be getting too fancy. I'm using some good double-sided tape here.
Oh, okay. Oh, and plug in the piezo before you tape.
Oh.
Well, you're going to have the piezos on the top, right? When we put it in there?
Yes, but he's right. I think that this will be in the wrong way. Of course he's right.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah. He's the one that wrote the instructions.
Okay, piezo's plugged in. That is in place. LEDs are up. Should work pretty good. Okay. Now, next. Almost there.
And the thing that Dave was just saying, yeah, I made these mistakes, so we've all see, it all helps.
So now he talks about hot gluing the piezo wire through this little V groove. The V groove is, maybe stick that through there.
So there's
I don't know if it matters where the piezo is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. And there's the picture of it being hot glued. You're using some hot melt glue and putting it in there.
Yep. So, anyways, that'll be hot glued in. I'm not going to do that right now. And then your battery will go right over here and be glued in as well, or siliconed in.
Right.
The batteries. So, and then Dave always recommends those Energizer batteries, which are great batteries to use, and they'll last a lot longer than your regular standard battery. And those are the Energizer
Ultimates.
I should know that by now. We've talked about them so many times.
And you see on the screen right now, you see the batteries, how they go in there, and it's just really great. And that's just, once again, that the AA's just fit nicely in that slot. I mean, this ammo can was made for this cache. So once again, if you want to get the build for this, it's going to be up on the store later this week. And it is going to be $65 with the ammo can. And as I've said several times, if you get it, you can get it without the ammo can, which is going to be $52. But if you get your own ammo can, the 3D printed pieces for your alignments and your measurements may not fit unless you get the same ammo can that we have. Yes. So, I mean, it's if you want to take that chance, go for it. If not, go ahead and just buy the entire kit, order your shirt, and have it. And that is $65 plus shipping, or $52 plus shipping.
Yes. Okay, so we are going to install the batteries now. Now, we do have a cover to put on it, but we're going to do our check on this first before we get the cover put in place. So we have it on.
Yep,
everything
I heard it
lights
beep.
Up. And then now you need to enter a code. You have a 4-digit lock, whatever you have, you need to enter the code on how many digits you want to have in there and what direction. So say we want red is going to be the first digit of a code, and we want it to be 3. And it just went back to sleep. Thanks, Dave. No. I think I just pushed any button to start. Yep, there we go. Any button to start it. Okay, so we want red to be 3, so we'll hit the red 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then we want yellow to be what? I don't know, 4?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then green?
2.
2, 1. Okay, 2.
Or 1.
And then blue, what?
1.
1. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's what our combination is for this, and it's going to give it back to us. So 5, 2, and 1. So gave you the code, it'll do it again. Now, if you want to accept the code, you hit the green button. If you want to re-enter the code, you hit red. So if we hit red, we could re-enter it. There we go. So I did 5, 3 or whatever. Yeah. 5, 1. Anyway, so I'll give you the code again real quick. It'll beep it back to you just to make sure you have it. This time we'll hit good. We'll hit the green button. Accept it. And now we are good to go. Now you hit any button to play the game. There's the classic DJW house sound there. What that does is that wakes up the game itself.
The cache.
And then we'll hit the button to go. And we just start a Simon Says game, which we won't go through the whole game on it, but that's the way it is.
And this one, as we said before, this one starts off at 11, and then it goes down. It has a mercy mode that will actually start coming down as well, if it makes it a little bit easier. Now, you can change if you don't want to start off at 11. Dave, did this one have the way that you can set like an easier, like a kid mode on there as well? Yes. Okay. So yes. Yeah, it has like a kid mode that you can do. So, and that's all in the instructions itself on the programming of it. And what's really great about this is, as a cache owner, there's a way that you can come up and actually check the voltage of your batteries as well. And that's all going to be in here in the instructions. So the normal is 11 moves. And then there's, like I said, that's a difficult. Then there's other levels that goes down. easy is 8 moves. Very difficult, you can go up to 14. And then the extremely difficult, you can go up to 18 moves. So depending on how evil you want to be, you can increase or bring that down. So
yes.
And then there's
again, we didn't have a
battery
chance
check.
to go over.
Right. And there's the battery check to check the voltage on there. So you can check your batteries out in the field. So it'll beep out the code for you. So that's really great how it does that. And once again, this is just a great job, Dave. Really do appreciate all the hard work that you put into doing this build, and it's just really great.
Yeah. And so one more thing that Dave added to this that we're not going to have time to go over tonight is adding we have the cover still to stick on to complete this. So he designed us a Gadget Talk cover, kind of hard to see on my camera quality here. And then it has a geocaching logo on it. And this is going to go ahead and pop over the ammo can here.
Right. It covers the board.
It goes over the battery.
Right. It goes over the battery and over the PCB. And your wires will go through there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it
doesn't cover the battery. It covers the piezo and the PCB.
Yeah, I guess not the batteries. So if you glue everything down, I have a bunch of wires in the way. This will pop right in place. Got lots of wires in the way.
That's where you use that V in the glue.
Yeah. Thanks, Derek.
No, thanks to Dave. You put the V there. And I believe that it's and been asked which one is the ammo can. I believe it's the Plano. It's the Plano ammo can. It's the one we used.
Yes, and there's a certain model on it as well, which we can put that out too, in case you want to just get the kit. There we go. So that goes on and that gets glued on as well. And so that covers up your PCB, all the critical components on the cache. So it keeps it nice and safe. But easy enough to get to your batteries to change them out if you need to.
Right. Now you're asking, well, how do you lock this up? In the instructions, and we're not going to get into it tonight, in the instructions, and I'm getting up to those instructions part right now. There's a template. If you have that template there, Chad, for the yes. Lock. But there's a template that we can actually go into the here it is. You'll actually be able to go we'll be able to go into the latch of it itself. So the template will actually be in there so that you can line it up so that you can put it in there. And then you're going to use an eye bolt. And that's all included in this, the build itself. And it just kind of,
we're not including the eye bolt in the kit.
Oh, we're not including the eye bolt, but you can get the 3D.
We'll include the template, but okay. We weren't planning on including the eye bolt because I don't know if someone has a different way of doing it, or if they just want to go ahead and use the regular kit. I guess we can talk about that later, but I was not planning on including the eye bolt.
Okay, so no eye bolt. At this point, we're not going to include the eye bolt, but will have to be slightly bent just a little bit for when the can actually opens up in there. But that just fits right underneath there, and that's a really great way of locking your ammo can up with that, because it will just actually works really great, because the little one there on the top sometimes can be a little bit difficult to open up here, where the hole is itself. And I usually, if I'm having to use that hole to put a lock on there, I have to open it up just a little bit for the decent padlock that I use.
Yes.
So, and thanks, Tom. Yes, if you're watching this video and you're really liking this, smash that like button. Thanks, Tom. So this was really great. Good job, Chad, on doing the build on this tonight. Thanks, Dave, for all the background help as we've been going through this. Really do appreciate it. This is, like I said, once again, it'll be up later this week. You'll be able to go to the Gadget Talk podcast. Well, that's our email. You can email us. So if you need tech support or have any questions about this, you can get that from us from there. But you'll be able to go to geocachetalk.com, and you'll be able to go to the store on right there up on the tab, and you'll be able to find it there. It's going to be through Chromia Print, and they will be able to put that on there. And while you're at Chromia Print, go ahead and go check out the shirts and everything. And if you happen to be able to get this, if you're watching this before our next build, pick up the Gadget Talk podcast, May the 4th be with you shirt. Chad and I are going to be wearing ours next week for May the 4th. And speaking of May the 4th, what do we got next week, Chad, for our build? What are we doing?
So next week we're doing our challenge for the month, which is the puzzle boxes.
Right. So if you
so the challenge was to create a puzzle box that reveals a trackable code at the end when someone completes a puzzle. So it could be electronic, it could be mechanical, it could be anything you want, as long as it's a puzzle that reveals the trackable code one way or the other on it. So
or somehow that you can get into it to find it there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and being May the 4th, you get extra credit if you can do one maybe that's Star Wars related.
Yeah, I mean, hey, extra bonus points. I'm at May the 4th, Star Wars related cache puzzle box. Awesome. I built mine today. You'll see that build later this week on Behind the Cache, but you'll have to come in and see how you're going to be able to really figure it out next week here on Gadget Talk.
Yes. So if you are planning on participating, we have some people participating for the build or the puzzle box next week. Make sure you send us an email at the gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know so we can send you a link beforehand. And then we can make sure we get everybody on with the equal amount of time to kind of talk about your caches and what you built and everything. And then what would be really cool is if you're going to be at Migo, that is next week, right? Yeah.
Is it next week? Yeah, it is next week.
I'd love to find it myself, right, in person.
Yeah. Because I know I'm bringing mine to Mingo with me. And I'm actually, besides just putting in, you might have to earn your path tags from me to get into it. So.
Oh man,
I'm sorry. No, it's gonna. Hey, I mean, we can trade, but you got to work for it a little bit sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Because while you're working on it, I get to talk to you.
You have to work for it.
Yeah, and while you're working on it, I get to talk to you. So that's great. Also, if you have done any of our builds, go ahead and tag us on Instagram or Facebook at Gadget Talk Podcast. Would love to see those builds. You can email us pictures, whatever you want to do with that. And it's just really great. Just tag us because we love seeing the builds that have inspired you from our podcasts, our live streams. So just really appreciate it. And once again, the ammo can, Simon ammo can, will be up in the store later this week. And with the ammo can, it's $65 plus shipping. Without the ammo can, it's going to be $52. And also, probably tomorrow, I'll be putting up the show notes from tonight, and I'll have the soldering tools and all that aspect on there, and a link to this as well, and a link. I'll go ahead and put a link to Chromia Print on there as well, so you'll be able to get to the ammo can on the Simon cache there as well. So, anything else, Chad?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm just getting word here from the uppers that we are including the eyebolt in the kit. So
okay,
we'll include the eyebolt. Yeah,
eyebolt is going to be included in the kit.
The boss has spoken and said, yes, we need to include it. So,
all right. So the eyebolt is included in the kit?
Yeah. Just no lock, right? Just the eyebolt.
Right. Lock. Yeah. No lock and no batteries.
Yes. So, other than that, yeah, we'll see everybody next week on May the 4th.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thanks for sticking around.